So I'm going to jump right in. I wanted to start with a moment of gratitude for all of you, again, who have taken a few minutes out of your busy day and busy time of year to join. But I think this is really the best, most important time of year to spend about 30 minutes out of your day. Welcome. As you're joining, I just asked you, go ahead, pop in your first name and where you're calling from so we can give you a shout out and some appreciation for taking really a lot of time, a little bit of time out of this busy time of year. But we're heading into not only a new year, but a new decade. And so I am going to do my darndest to make sure this 30 minutes is not just interesting. I want it to be interesting, don't get me wrong, but I want to make sure it is chocked full of content that is going to help you, actionable items that will give you some tools to reflect and move forward as you're heading into a new year and a new decade. Now, keep in mind, I work with world-class athletes and business professionals, and clarity is where everything starts. So I am so excited to bring this to you. All right, well, without further ado, let's get going. So I won't spend too much time talking about me. As you probably know by now, my background is I'm a mental toughness and certified high performance coach, best-selling author, speaker, and coach by profession. And I'm also the CEO and founder of the Zone Lab. And also I have 3 amazing kids, so I like to put mom in there as well. And just, you're probably wondering if this slide was a mistake or why is it in here, but it isn't. World-class performers, there's always transitions in between important events. So I want to explain what this is and maybe invite you to start thinking about incorporating these into your life. So we're going to transition from whatever your morning or early afternoon was like into something new. And so if you were let's say an Olympian track athlete and you are going from your warm-up out to the track to compete, there would be a clear transition. And it's important for us to have transitions too. So it's time to take a couple deep breaths. Make sure if you're sitting, you're standing, both feet are on the ground, take a couple deep breaths, clear your mind, and have a transition. So one way that a transition might factor into your life, if you want to try it out, is maybe when you come into work. Just get grounded and clear your mind from what you left at home. Or especially if you don't do it any other time, make sure that you do it when you get home from work. Maybe take an extra minute, stay in your car, wherever you get home from work, take a few breaths, and then set an intention for how you want to walk into your home and greet your family, your pet, or how you want to enter your house. So that's what a transition is. And so I wanted to explain that and invite you to start doing it. So take a deep breath, clear your mind, give yourself permission to have 30 minutes to yourself to learn something new. And here we go, we're off to the races. All right, so I wanted to share, what is the purpose? Why are you taking 30 minutes out of your busy day to spend it with me? And let's talk about that for a second. It's really to gain immediate and behavior-driven clarity and intentionality towards what you want and deserve, and how to create a support structure to make it happen now. There are certain things that are based in science that tell us how world-class performers get stuff done, how they seem to achieve things beyond the standard means. And we're going to talk about what those things are. So my purpose of the next 30 minutes or 25 minutes now is to help you understand how to gain behavior-driven clarity and intentionality so you can really unlock what is most important to you and also what you want and deserve. And also, so what's the goal? The goal is to start identifying strengths and gaps in your clarity. So in other words, clarity isn't static. We have different things change in our lives. Maybe, we have kids, or we have a career change, or things are always, it's in movement. So we want to take a snapshot of where you are now, identify where you are clear, what is most important to you. So we might be focusing on career, but also we're going to have a pulse on some other things in your life, getting clarity on those too, as we head into a new year and a new decade. And why is that so important? So you can next level really your impact and joy, both at work and at home. And I just want to take a second. This is why this coaching session is different, and my work is a little bit different than, let's say, an executive coach. Because although, and if you have my book, and if you don't have my book, you know, you can check it out. There's a digital version, which I think you can get for either free $1, or you can just go ahead and order it for the holidays if you want. If you don't want to order it, let me just tell you one thing about it right now. There's 3 main buckets of our lives. There's our career bucket, our personal wellness bucket, and our relationship bucket. And keep in mind that they are all interconnected. So I'm going to be very focused today on career bucket, but we're also going to have a pulse on some of those other things so we can move into the new year and the new decade as our most vibrant and joyous selves. So my goal is really to identify some of those strengths and gaps that you have in your clarity right now in your career, but also in some of those other aspects of your life as well. All right, so I'm not typically a statistics girl, but this one really stood out and I want to share it with you, is that it says that it's going to take 217 years for women to achieve gender parity. Well, I put this slide up here because this is part of the reason why maybe women aren't as happy or joyous in the workplace as they could be. But it's only a small piece of the puzzle. Okay, we want to make sure that we are crystal clear, that you are crystal clear on what you want out of your career, maybe from a pay aspect, but also from an impact aspect. So you can start to speak up, be heard, and really unlock that next level of your impact. And so there is data, this included, and other data that shows that although there's a raised level of awareness for female leaders in the workplace, it's not making as much progress. So I want to really take some responsibility in that and give you some world-class tips, tools, and habits to unlock your best. Because my philosophy, what I really, really believe is that not that it's women against men, but that it's just so, so important to have female leaders in the workplace for your conscious capitalism, for your compassion, for the creativity that you bring. So it's having and really making an impact for those female leaders and also the male allies. So this is one statistic of many, and I want to make sure that we make sure that this is taken into consideration, but also all of the other things will help you be as happy and biggest contributors so you can speak up, be heard, and unlock your impact. All right. So this, if you don't know her, this is Gabriele Schuster. I put her on a picture in a slide in here because I want to share something with you. She is a corporate VP at Microsoft. You know, a lot of times we put other people on pedestals or in our workplace or outside our workplace. She is amazing. She's an influencer. She has made some big, I would say, scary decisions at Microsoft that ended up working out for her. She's an advocate, but I want to share with you, as amazing as Gabriele Schuster is, and she's just one example in history, I could go on and on and on, but as amazing as she is, and as much as she speaks up and she is heard and she is changing the landscape in Microsoft, she has fear, she has doubt, she has all of those things. So I want to be very transparent with you that world-class performers, we're all human. We all deal with the same emotions. We all have the same emotions. We just deal with them in different ways. But one thing that sets Gabriele Schuster apart from other people is she is crystal clear on what she wants and the impact that it's going to have. So that's why clarity is such an important place to start. So before we get into giving you the tools, I want to talk a little bit about what are the consequences of not being clear about what's most important to you and why you care so deeply about it. Maybe you might feel mediocre even though you're working extremely hard. I've seen this over and over and over with amazing women that I coach. I am completely, every time I onboard a new client, I have so much gratitude. I cannot even believe the mountains that they have moved in their family and in their career. But you know what? They're working so hard and sometimes they still feel mediocre, and I don't want that for you. And we're going to talk about how to get past that. And also another consequence of not being clear and not having the mindset to unlock your next level of impact is really feeling overcommitted and undersupported. Has anyone ever felt that way? Anyone? I've spoken on a lot of stages. I've talked to thousands of women, and I've heard this over and over and over. Yes, I see a couple of people raising their hands. Thank you. Has anyone else ever felt like this? Overcommitted, but maybe undersupported? Yeah, I see more and more hands. Thank you so much for letting me know, because what happens is it's a human drive for us to be acknowledged and heard. So in other words, if you raised your hands, the good news is that you are 100% normal. The bad news is that it's going to slow down your impact. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to gain clarity and how to have that voice and how to take that first step or that next step. All right. And also finally, the other consequence that I want to bring up, and I think I mentioned, is that impact declines, because there's only so long that we can put our head down and really, really run after it if we're not feeling heard and we're not feeling acknowledged. So we're going to take, again, that first step to make sure that you can speak up and be heard and gain clarity around what is it that you want going into the new year. That's where it starts, because we have to take some responsibility for ourselves. And a lot of times it's easy to say that, you know, we're not being heard. And I don't want to use the word place blame, but I want to get some clarity, create some distance, be a little bit objective about what's going on, getting crystal clear and very intentional about what we want, and setting up a support structure so we can really go after it. Because what I don't want to happen is for your impact to decline. Because this is what I really believe at the bottom of my heart. Each and every one of you has something very special placed in your heart, something very unique that no one else has. And if you're feeling an uncomfortable feeling right now, uncomfortable meaning like it's not quite right, you know, I'm not being heard, I'm not having the impact, or maybe you can't put a label on it, you're just a little uncomfortable enough to spend 30 minutes on a webinar to try and learn a little bit more, then that means that you're being called to do something a little different. And if I can give you the tools to gain clarity around that, then I have won and I have succeeded. So I'm really excited to get started, because you are unique. And I really believe that the world needs to see your next level of impact right now. But sometimes, this slide is kind of funny, but I wanted to share it. Sometimes we lose our capes. So let me explain the slide just for a second. You know, when we come into the world, does anyone have kids? Anyone ever been a kid? Okay, awesome. Everyone that's raising their hand, I know you're listening. The rest of you are multitasking. Okay, thank you for speaking up. So when we come into this world, as children, we believe we can conquer the world. My son, Dan, yes, thank you, Sylvie, raising your hand. I know you're listening. Awesome. Much appreciated. Example, my son, Dan, when he was in preschool, he's 23. He'd be horrified if I was sharing this right now. But when he was in preschool, he would wear a cape and he would fly around, and he was protecting the world, the playground and the world, because he was a superhero. And he wasn't pretending or playing. He was actually believed that he could save the world and save the playground. And it was his truth. But somewhere along the lines, we lose our capes. So for me, when I was 9 years old, I went to a small kind of exclusive private school in San Francisco and Bay Area. And I was told I wasn't good enough student to be in that school. And I was doing pretty well. I was working hard, and it was devastating. And at that moment, I took off my cape. I thought, I'm not good enough. And it's sometimes maybe an experience that we have, people that we're around, some failures that we have. We start eventually picking up some of these things that make us take off our cape, and we just set it down. So I want to get some clarity now. It's time to kind of put back on that cape and really bring you home to who you are and who you were meant to be, so you can put that cape back on fully. And where it's going to start is clarity. All right, so the science says that you are really only limited by what you think is possible. Whether it's Carol Dweck's mindset, which has to do with having a growth or fixed mindset, meaning about, do you believe that you can get better, or do you believe that you are fixed in something, meaning that you believe that you were dealt a certain deck, right? Talent is Overrated by Jeff Colvin. He is a Forbes writer who basically did interview after interview after interview and said that what we want to achieve is less about talent and more about drive and connection. So let's get you locked into that connection, because your why is what's going to unlock your next level of impact. Angela Duckworth, of course, in Grit. So all about the power of passion and perseverance. And of course, Anders Ericsson, who I have so much admiration for. I work with him, talk to him quarterly to stay up on everything. He coined the 10,000 hour rule. He is all about deliberate practice. So he has really proven the science of expertise. He has cracked the code on how people can become an expert and why it's actually possible. Okay, so he has actually done the research that proves what's in my book is possible. So I'm applied, my work is applied, he's a researcher. I lean on his work. So all of these works combined, my book at the end is basically laying the foundation to be able to lean into and believe and execute what all these other amazing researchers have proven in science. So you guys ready to get started? Okay, I'm so excited. I hope you're at least partially excited as me. All right, so we're gonna have another transition, not a long one. I'm not gonna keep talking a lot like I did in the last one. All I want you to do is to close your eyes, take a deep breath into your stomach, and as you exhale, feel your feet sinking into the ground. Okay, go ahead and do it. Do that one more time. I see questions coming in, which is awesome. I'm going to take most of these at the end, but let me just share with one of them is, would you share the book list with us as a document? Yes, you know what? This is a spoiler alert in that I encourage you guys all to stay till the end, because this is a webinar. I'm not selling you stuff. Okay, there's no funny stuff on this webinar. I'm going to be giving you things. And one of the things that I'm going to give you is the slide deck. Okay, so go ahead, that you will get that at the end when we send the slide deck to you. Just stay to the end. So what do we want to do? We want to gain world-class clarity. I love this girl, because how would you feel if every day when you woke up, you felt like her? Every day when you sat down or got to your office, you were like, let's go. You were like her. I mean, that's how I want to be. And that's how most days, except there's some days, I'm human, so sometimes I need an attitude adjustment. But most days, like before this webinar, oh my God, if you saw me, there was like a dance party going on in here. I was so excited to bring this to you. My wish for you is to feel like her, or to be excited. If this picture scares you, just be excited. That's just the main point, okay? All right, so what we want to talk about is really not just, I don't talk about SMART goals. Okay, I talk about creating a legacy plan. In other words, how do you want to be remembered? We're talking about big dreams, like crazy talk dreams, okay? And also setting up an accountability structure to bring it to life. I spoke about Peak and Anders Ericsson. Well, he has really proven that we all need coaches. We all need an accountability structure, because what your next level of impact is going to live beyond your comfort zone. And it's been proven in science that we don't go there by ourselves until it's a habit. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to make that happen. So secret number one, if you can call it a secret, I thought that would be fun, would be to dream and set up your team. Now, it's really important that you must do the things that you cannot do. Does anyone know who this quote is by? And I wrote a hint. The first chair of the Presidential Commission on the Status of Women under President Kennedy in 1961. Okay, a little bit of trivia for you guys. Anyone? Eleanor Roosevelt. Talk about, oh my gosh, this woman is really, I don't know if I can swear on this, but she's a bad, you know what. Don't want to offend anyone, but so much admiration for her. You must do the things that you think you cannot do. Okay, there's something in your heart. Do not let your head get in the way. That's where I'm going with this, okay? stay with me. All right, so if you have a pen and pencil, something ready, if you're multitasking, stop doing that right now because I need you to do something. Okay, I want you to go through this real quick. Now I want you to think about, we're not gonna run through this whole thing together. I'm just gonna explain it to you and you will do most of it on your own because I wanna respect the 30 minutes that we have together, okay? And if you have any questions, let me know. But these are 3 questions pulled from some of my tools from my coaching, from my one-on-one, and I also have a monthly subscription. I pulled them from there, my intellectual property, to share it with you today, okay? So one is there a person or life event that has greatly impacted you? So in other words, let me just share what I mean. My dad told me after my principal, when I was 9, told me that I wasn't good enough to be in the school. He said, you know, Sheryl, it's only October. You have till June to prove yourself and you can do anything you put your mind to. That life event was like, wham. That is really what changed the course of my life. I took like a 90-degree turn because eventually I believed him, but what he couldn't tell me is how to do that, how to have the mindset. You know, so I believed what he was saying, but I didn't have the tools to execute, if that makes any sense. Okay. So did you have a person or life event that has greatly impacted you? Okay. And then also, what is your dream for 2020 and beyond? What is in here? Okay. So in other words, by the end of the year, if I were to call you up and say, how's it going? I don't want to hear, oh, same old, same old. I want to hear like, I don't know how this happened. I'm like, my heart is full. I'm overflowing. This is where I'm at. Okay, so that's what I want you to think about. And then finally, if you were sitting across from your most successful and happy self, what would he or she tell you right now as we head into a new year and a new decade? So the point of this question is, you know a lot of your answers. I don't want to take away from maybe you don't need me or maybe you don't need coaching, or I mean, it's getting help is incredibly, incredibly important. But when it comes to clarity, you know, we spend so much time trying to find our purpose and trying to understand what our next best step is. But if you were to just look at it from a different angle and a different perspective, you'll know how to take the next step. Then you'll know how to ask for the appropriate help. Okay. And then finally, the next part is all about accountability. If you want to get to the next level and you haven't gotten there yet, it's going to require you to do something different. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes? You guys with me? Make sense? Okay. All right. Awesome. Thanks. So, and I don't know if you've ever tried to do something, but then you have an intention to go to the gym and get the best shape of your life. It just kind of doesn't happen, or, you know, what have you. We've all been there. I'm right there with you. But so we want to make sure. So an internal board of directors and an external board of directors. In other words, internal. So let's take your career. You want to get someone on the inside, an internal advocate, someone that is going to fight for you and push you to do things, or maybe they'll believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself. Someone on the inside. So if it has to do with something personal, it's someone inside your family that's an advocate. Okay. If it has to do with your work, it's someone on the inside. Okay. External board of directors. This has to do, let's just take work, for example, someone on the outside, someone like a coach, like myself, or someone else on the outside of your organization, someone that you can be 100% transparent with. Want to give you an example. I have clients that work in, well, a lot from Microsoft, Shell Oil, it kind of goes on and on. They have executive coaches on the inside, which are amazing, but it's really important for them to have a coach on the outside. And that's where I come in, because they need a safe place where they can be fully transparent. Okay. So is everyone clear on an internal and external board of directors? Very important to have both. Someone that will advocate for you on the inside and on the outside. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to spend 2 seconds on this. Everyone is so proud, I know, of their kids, but what the whole purpose of this slide, and stay with me for a second. What I'm sharing with you today, it's not only about you. And I don't mean to be disingenuous. Okay? Let me just explain. When you are clear on what you want and why you care so deeply and running after something, even though it might seem crazy, but showing that you can get up and dust off, that you know how to be confident, you know how to be resilient, you know how to be gritty, and then you see, and your kids or your colleagues or other people in your life see that you bring that level of joy to the table, they're going to go after their dreams too. My son Ryan, who is on the end here, he's 5'6", 130 pounds, soaking wet. Okay, his dream when he was 11 to be on the Cal tennis team. He had no way, no way, there's no way, no way, no way, no way. Okay, but he was born into a household that at 11, I'm like, okay, let's go. You know, and it's statistically impossible that he would have done this. Okay, because of his size and because of some other things. Okay, so the whole purpose of this slide isn't for me to toot the horn about my kids, even though I'm really proud of him, but it was hard. There were a lot of tears, a lot of struggle, a lot of everything. My point is that whether you think you're influential or not, you are. Whether you think you're a role model or not, you are. In your career and in your home. You guys, you follow me? Okay, awesome. All right, so, wow, this 30 minutes goes by fast. So stay with me, okay? Stay with me, stay with me. I might go a couple minutes over if you guys have the time. Creating a legacy plan and an accountability structure to bring to life. Continue. Take action. So now what? You know, now what do we do? So I love this quote by Rosa Parks. I've learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. So it's time, once we get clarity, once you are clear, you can decide. From a linguistic standpoint, the word decide means death of. It's really death of any other option. Okay, so you decide how you want the year to go and the decade to go. Once you are clear on that and you lock it into why you care so deeply, then we're off to the races. Okay? So, oh, I'm like, why was there nothing on the slide? Okay, it was really fancy. My team made a slide that was too fancy for me. All right. So one thing that you can do to take action. Okay, again, you're going to have these slides. You don't need to be filling them out right now. I really just want to explain it. But I want you to think about one thing you can do to take action. Okay? At work, a crucial action item is, it might be having a conversation, sending an email, face-to-face conversation is amazing. And then I will take action by. Okay? There's an action and a date. The action item needs to be something you have control over. Okay, don't say an action item is like, I'm going to get a promotion. Okay, you don't have control over that. An action item is something either you will do or you will not do. It's up to you. Okay? And then also at home in a relationship, a crucial action item is, maybe it's a conversation. Maybe it is, maybe you want more friends. Okay, so, or maybe it's doing something social twice a month. I don't know. I will take action by. Okay, and then finally, in personal wellness, a crucial action item is, like for me recently, I eat pretty well, but I wanted to meet with a nutritionist so I could have more energy. Okay, so my crucial action item is right now to get my blood test, and I'm going to do that by the end of the year. Okay, making sense? All right. So right now I'm going to open up. There's about a minute left for Q&A. If anyone has any questions, stick around with me for 2 more minutes because I am giving more. If you want to get these slides and these questionnaires and all these things, stick with me for just a couple more minutes. I just want to see at this point if anyone has questions, because I wanted to respect your time, but I also gave you a lot of information. So let's just see if anyone has any other questions. okay, just about the documents, what am I sharing? You will get all of these things in about 2 minutes. I totally promise that. Okay, so that's that for the questions. You can also post them in the chat. I will see them. I will see them as well. All right, so what else am I giving? What am I giving? Because it's December, okay? I'm not asking you guys for anything. I'm giving you guys something. So I wanna ask you this. Would it be helpful to have someone take you from where you're at and help you gain world-class clarity and build that roadmap? So thinking about it this time of year at the end of 2020, then the needle has been moved. So if you want to experience that transformation, going from that maybe a little bit uncomfortable feeling of knowing that you've achieved a lot, you're already successful, you're already ambitious, but you know there's more. If you want to go from that uncomfortable feeling to that lighter feeling of joy and happiness that comes along with knowing you're on the right path, I would really encourage you to grab one of these times with me. It's a 30-minute discovery call. It's fee waived. Normally these are $497. I know that is a lot, but also in this 30 minutes, we will move the needle and things will change and you will see transformation. So if you want to grab one of those, it's at SherylKline.com/discovery. I'm also going to give you the slide deck. So by having the slide deck, you will have all of the questionnaires, okay? And all of the questions, all of the books, all of the things that you guys have been asking me for, they will be on the slide deck. And also you're going to get a video recording. And I am so excited. I am so grateful. If you have any other questions, I'm going to stay on for another couple minutes so I can be here for you. But if you can imagine heading into 2020 with a plan, with someone who is not just going to cheerlead you, but I'm a coach by nature. So if I can give you some content, some context of what it's like, I not only cheerlead, you can get cheerleading from your good friends. Although I like to do it and I do a ton of it. But total transparency, I will cheerlead you. I will cheer you on all the way. But you know what? I'm going to collaborate with you. I'm going to get information from you so we can work together to get you to move from A to B, to help get you unstuck, okay? To help you unlock what's already there, but maybe just not accessible. And you know what? I'll be totally transparent with you. I'm going to push you. We talked about being pushed beyond your comfort zone. That's what I'm trained to do. Okay. So if you are ready, you're ready to be a little bit uncomfortable, but you're ready to get a little bit more results. And let me clarify, when I push and when I say, are you ready to get uncomfortable? It's from a place of compassion. Okay. It's from a place of, I know what you're capable of. I know what's in your heart after you share with me. I know how to unlock it in your mind so they can work together instead of apart. So we have a couple more questions coming in. I'm going to stay on another couple minutes. Okay, what happens in the 30 minutes? Can you describe a bit more? Oh, I am so excited that you brought that up. That's a great question. So what happens in the 30 minutes? So what happens is I learn about you. I'm not just going to tell you about what I do and how I can help necessarily. It is a download of information from what you're going to give me of where you're at, where you want to go, why you care so deeply. And then I'm going to ask you some questions, give you some perspective that maybe you don't have. And also, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to take what you've said that you want, why you care so deeply, and give you some tools to move forward. And if that is the end, great. If we don't end up moving forward, great. I've put some good into the world and then you're on your way and then hopefully you can keep the ball rolling on your own. But if it's a good fit, we make a mutual decision if we're going to move on to a 1-hour coaching call, which I do not charge for. Okay, I do not charge for this call. But when we move on, it's a full hour of coaching. That's when you really get a good idea of what is my curriculum, is it going to help, and you actually get exercises to drop into your life so you can move from where you are to where you want to be. So you can go from as clear as you are now, but clarity is one piece to the puzzle. It's where we start. Okay, so what if we move on past the 30-minute call to get to know each other, to get a couple tools? From there, you move to 1 hour full coaching call. These are both fee waived. So really, there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. And from the hour coaching call, what you're going to get is how to develop the clarity and the confidence and really the mindset and the influence to speak up, be heard, and unlock your next level of impact. So you're going to understand what the whole package is and what it is that I share and how I take people from dreaming to doing consistently, how I take people from being maybe a little like they're feeling not heard and maybe like they're not, like they're capable of more. Okay, that's where we're going to move. So in answer to your question, thank you so much for bringing it up. It's an introductory call. We get to know each other. I get to know what's important to you. And then we make a mutual decision if it makes sense to move on to a full hour coaching call, which again is fee waived. And they're limited. I don't think there's actually 20 left because there's only so many days left in the year and so many time slots on my calendar. So if you want some help and you want to take advantage of this, I will be shutting down my one-on-one coaching calendar probably in 30 days. So let's get this done. If we end up working together, great. If not, and we end up spending time together, that's great too. I've put some good into the world. I've set you on your merry way. And I would be excited to give you some tools to really unlock what you are meant to do to help really, I call it bringing you home, really bringing you home. Because I really believe, and it's my philosophy, that you were made for more. And if you are on this call, if you are spending time with me during this busy, busy time of year, then it's your time. And if I can help you be on this webinar, I will. And the only thing you need to do is to schedule a call. We start with 30 minutes, then we go for there. Thank you so much for spending part of your morning with me. All you need to do is go to www.sherylkline.com/discovery, and it would be my honor to share some more of these tools with you. So thanks so much. I look forward to chatting with each and every one of you. If you can, I have one more question coming in. I'll stay with you, then I'm going to sign off. Let's see. Oh, thank you very much. You are so, so welcome. Thank you for spending the time with me. I look forward to the honor of spending 30 minutes with you. Have a healthy and happy holiday. And if there's any way I can make it any better, go ahead and grab one of those calls. Thanks so much. And I am filled with gratitude for all of you guys. And hopefully I will be speaking to each and every one of you. Here's to you being amazing, cheering you on from San Francisco. I'm going to sign off. We'll be getting these tools to you. All of you that have stayed on to the end, you'll be getting these tools the next 24 to 48 hours. That is my gift from me to you. I look forward to speaking with you guys. All right. Thanks again. Signing off. Take care.